Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Drama Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Okay, so funny story. I didn't realize there was a new Drama Hospital going to be on yesterday because I've been binging Netflix and not turning my actual TV on. So I apologize. This is actually yesterday's Drama Hospital recap, and I will put tomorrow's up first thing tomorrow morning. It's already 11:30, and by the time I get done with it, you know the drill. So let's get to yesterday's. Again, I'm sorry. I had no idea. And of course, my phone goes off. There we go. All right, so at General Hospital, Griffin is still Julian's doctor because kid can't catch a break. And Julian's getting basically, a checkup, for his injuries. And he calls Alexis and leaves a message. And then Rudge comes in after Griffin leaves, obviously. So he fills them in on that Jason found the office and the premises had to be destroyed, and the boss isn't happy about that. And they've had enough of Jason Morgan, and Rudge tells Julian to get rid of him tonight. And he won't. he says he's been forced to hurt people he loves so that Rudge and, the boss doesn't do worse to them. But he's done now. Enough's enough. And then Griffin comes back in and is like, and Julian's like, oh, no, this is my driver that I told you about. Cool. And Griffin's like, yeah, whatever. You're free to go. I don't really care at this point. So Julian still won't hurt Jason. He's not going to do that, because, he's married to Sam. And he's like, fine, just kill me then. I don't care. I had a family who loved me and I lost it all because of you. And he's not letting them tear apart his family's lives any more than Julian's been forced to, or that, they've torn apart Julian's life. So Julian's done and will return the favor. He'll tell his family everything. So that gives Rudge pause because they don't want that. They want to work in their little shadow realm, right? So Rudge is like, don't. It'll put your family directly in her sights. And Julian's like, look, I'm done destroying my family. And, maybe it's time to turn the lights on the boss and he'll be a powerful enemy. And I was like, you might not be holding enough cards right now to do that. I mean, I'm still fairly new to this situation, but it seems like if he had the power to do this, he would have done it a while ago. But he says he's done playing, and Rudge makes a call to the temp in the Metro Court, and that I'll tell you about in a hot second, and says that Julian has to be incentivized. At Sonny's place, Jason and Sam stop over. Sonny is getting cabin fever, and no one has come. Oh, so they tell him that no one's come to inspect the damage that the fire did, because they're trying to figure out who the boss is. Boss come back. Boss never came back. And it's owned by a dummy corporation, so chances are no one will ever come back there. They say Julian's nervous, and Sonny feels that in any way, no matter what turns out to be the truth, Julian's in part responsible for Morgan's death because of how he and the car were involved. And Sam's like, I have to go get some water because she's not feeling good, but she's keeping it low key. But she's obviously not feeling good. So Sonny appreciates Jason's help, and he asks him to maybe come back into the business when all this is over. And Sam hears Jason and Sonny talking, and Jason says that he belongs with Sam and his children, and that's where he wants to be. And then they head off. So Sam tells Jason she may have overheard the conversation a little bit. She wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but she was right there, and they were talking. What are you going to do? And that she understands that things change and she'll support him no matter what. And that he's like, yeah, I know, which is why this was an easy decision. So I don't think he's planning on going back. And then she seems to be in pain, and he's like, nope, we're going to the hospital right now. So after they really head off to the hospital, Griffin stops by Sonny's place. I know, right? He's all dressed up, so probably going to be headed to the wedding soon. And Sonny tells Griffin that someone else was responsible for Morgan's death. It wasn't him. And Griffin didn't know that. He's been out of the loop, okay? And he's really, happy to hear that. Happy's not the right word. And he can tell that there's something else on Sonny's mind, though. So Sonny tells Griffin that he slept with someone who wasn't Carly. It wasn't an affair. It was just a one-time thing. But it is someone close to the family, and she's getting close to Michael. And, now he could possibly be hurting another son. And Griffin can't judge. That's his words, not mine. And he's basically, Sonny's looking for advice, and he knows it could do damage. He knows it could just blow up all their lives, and should he tell the truth? And I'll get back to you on that in a hot second. So, back at General Hospital, Sam and Jason decide that she needs to skip the wedding and take it easy, and that they'll call Maxie. They'll take care of it. And then they run into Julian. Back on that in a while, to be quite honest with you. So at the Metro Court, Olivia and Nell are trying to organize all the events happening. And Olivia winds up, like, asking a temp who he is. She hasn't seen him. And Nell's like, oh, no, I had to hire some extra people because of the 2 events going on. And Olivia's like, okay, cool. And then Nell runs into Michael. He's bringing Dante his tux. And then he asks Nell if she wants to go somewhere fun. So in the wedding venue, Lulu gets word that Maxie is missing. Oh, no. Curtis shows up for dinner, but there's a wedding, so he's not getting dinner there. And he tells Jordan that he and Jason are moving in on the perpetrator, and it's not Sonny. So he tells her about the office and the lady boss, and she kind of doesn't believe Buzz exists because he won't supply him. And by the way, he's wearing a Negan jacket. Did anyone else see that? Because I totally saw that. Anyway, Jordan wants to talk to Buzz. Like, that's what she wants. And she thinks that she can trust Curtis again if he can make that happen. But he has to bring Buzz in. And she kind of dangles a badge in front of his face that, look, this could be in your future. So he says he gave Buzz his word and he can't go back on that. But maybe there's another way for them both to win. So now Temp Guy hears Olivia talking to Ned about picking Leo up from the sitter. And he jumps into the elevator with her. This can't be good. Calling it now. So at Perks, Nell and Michael get coffee. Now he wants her to ice skate because fun, we're having fun. Think about fun. And she says she knows how to, like, he doesn't have to teach her, you know. She had a coach, I don't know. Anyway, she had a coach, told her she could have been an Olympian, but her dad was like, yo, coaches cost money and Olympics, all that costs money and it's just a pipe dream, so no. And then she hung her skates up and never skated again. And I'm like, girl. And she hasn't skated since. And honestly, throughout all this, did anyone else watch Utah's FBI, like, back in the early 2000s? Okay, so basically, I'm not going to go into that, but there's an episode where she ice skated and she was supposed to be on this team, and then the whole team winds up, like, dying in a bus accident, and she wasn't on the team because she's deaf and, like, she messed up the music or something, whatever, and then, like, she never skated again, but then, like, she does in that episode, and that's all I was thinking about. And I'm like, okay, Sue Thomas's story is so much better than yours now, like, I'm just saying. Anyway, because, you know, we're not fans of Nell, right? But we don't, like, hate her, we're just, like, I'm intrigued by her. Anyway, I'm getting totally off topic, but, like, that's where my mind goes. So anyway, he talks to her about bad memories and not letting them rule you. You know, don't become a victim to them and don't let it hold her back. And, like, we all know what he's talking about. Well, I feel like there's probably multiple things, like, but we know, like, what he's talking about. And it breaks my heart every time because, like, I sometimes let myself forget that happened to him. And then I was like, oh, Michael. Because that's, like, kind of when I start watching, like, a few months before that, like, when he was still in hiding at the island and all that. Anyway, at Crimson, Nathan rushes up. Maxie's missing, and she's gone and not answering calls because she can't keep her phone charged. But, like, oh, I don't have my purse with me, but I have, like, a portable charger that has Charmander on it, so Maxie needs a portable charger. They're really not that hard. And things are tense between Nina and Lulu, to say the least. I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, I really don't. Like, in the long run. Like, anyway, Lulu's gonna check Maxie's computer. She's there. And they find out that she looked at flights at the airport. Maxie is getting a ticket for a plane. I'm like, girl, what? To Portland, but it's a full flight. She wants to fly standby, but there's already 6 people in front of her, so it turns out she's not going to get a flight until tomorrow, but that's not acceptable to her. So she goes on and on about why she needs to leave, that her handsome detective fiance who speaks French but isn't French, but oh, it's so sexy that he speaks French, and da-da-da-da-da, and, like, she's going on and on and on because she's Maxie. So, and the ticket agent is just this guy, and he's like, girl, what? So she doesn't want to be judged for, like, her feelings while Nathan is processing his, basically, so she just wants to get out of town. So we meet temporary replacement Spinelli. And I know the story. If you don't know the story and you're like, why wasn't Bradford Anderson on my screen? Basically, he was supposed to be, and last minute, he got an offer for Homeland, and he kind of left the show in a lurch, but the show's like, no, go, it's fine, we'll find someone, and they had to find someone over the weekend to start filming on Monday. So this guy's literally only going to be here for like a smidge, and then Bradford Anderson will be back. Like, don't panic, but you probably already know that. But for anyone who doesn't, I wanted to tell you the information. But it's just so weird. But like, thanks for like stepping in, replacement Spinelli. Like, I appreciate you. It's just so odd, like having a different Spinelli, because we've like never had a different Spinelli. And Spinelli's like his canter, is that like the right word? It's so specific. Like, it's so weird just hearing someone else talk in his words, but it's not his voice, you know? Anyway, I'll move on. So he says he's there for Sam, and he tells her that Ellie took Georgie to Disney World because she has a week off, and Maxie's like, I wanted to be the one to take her to Disney World for the first time. Like, that's a rite of passage. And I mean, who knows if she actually did take Georgie to Disney World, but like, if she did, like, that, come on, guys, like, come on, really? Anyway, so he asks why she's fleeing, and she says she wants to give Nathan space, and he's like, Nathan probably doesn't want space, especially from you. So he wants to drive her back to town so she can talk to Nathan, and I'm like, Spinelli to the rescue! But here is where, oh my goodness, I literally had to pause. I was dying laughing. So Nathan and Dante come to the airport, but Spinelli and Maxie have already left. And they flash their badges, and they ask for the passenger manifest. And the guy's like, I can't give you that. Like, you know I can't give you that. And Nathan's like, all right, I mean, this is personal. There's a woman here, my fiance. He starts telling the story. The guy stops him, and he goes, you wouldn't happen to speak French, do you? And I literally had to pause because I was just dying laughing. It was like the funniest thing that's happened on General Hospital in like a really long time. So he says the woman that he's looking for didn't buy a ticket to Portland, but she was talking about Disney World. I was like, don't complicate this, ticket guy. So they look, planes to Orlando. The last one left a half an hour ago, so Nathan thinks, oh no, it's too late. She's already on the plane. And then Spinelli calls Dante and says Maxie has been recovered and is getting ready as we speak. Back at Crimson, Spinelli brings Maxie back, and Maxie's like, really, why'd you bring me here? Nina brings her into her office. Lulu, Robin, Felicia are there. They surprise her. Welcome to her wedding day. And I was like, I love this episode so much right now. Nothing can ruin it. Something's gonna ruin it. I'm just kidding. Not ruin it, but just like put a little damper. But like, not really, because I'm just so happy. Like, nothing can dampen my spirits. So Maxie's surprised, and they have, you know, her something old, something new, something borrowed, something new. They have all that. Back at the wedding venue, Nathan is so appreciative for Dante, and he's like his brother, and I'm literally exploding over here. And then they hug, and I was like, I can't keep it in. I'm so happy right now. I'm supersonic. Now end scene. So Maxie's so grateful for everyone, and Olivia keeps them on track, and Maxie's just all in her dress, and Olivia's like, I'll get the next elevator, don't worry about it. Nell kind of diminishes Michael's struggles by being like, you know, you grew up in the lap of luxury, blah, blah, blah. And, like, a part of me gets where she's coming from, because it's very hard for anyone, like, here to, like, be like, how are you up there? Like, really? Like, what are your problems, right? And, you know, to an extent, yeah, but then to an extent, you also gotta, like, have your empathy and compassion and realize that, you know, people do have problems, even if their problems aren't money related. Whatever. Oh my goodness, I'm turning into Nell. Stop me now. And, like, she doesn't know. Well, and, you know, to be fair, like, she doesn't know, you know, what we know. So, I mean, I could be taking, I don't know. I see both sides, but at the same time, I'm like, girl, wait until you find out. If you ever find out. I'm being presumptuous. Anyway, so then he's like, well, that's not fair. And she's like, ugh. And she asks how he stays so positive, and he says he doesn't like the alternative. And I'm like, that is so me. Like, I stay super positive. Like, y'all don't even know the black cloud that's been hanging over my life for 5 years. Like, y'all don't even know. If I tell you, once it's cleared, you're gonna be like, girl. And I'm gonna be like, yeah. Anyway, So he says he makes one happy memory a day to keep moving forward. And I was like, oh, I really like that. I think I'm going to do that. And then she'll ice skate. And it's like, ah. Griffin gives Sonny his options. You know, the truth will set you free option, or tell everyone and burden them to an extent. And then he has to go, and he tells Sonny to think about it and pray on it, and he'll know when he knows. Curtis says that he and Jordan can go see Buzz and take his statement outside the station. He'll set it up. Julian wants to tell Sam and Jason something, and Sam's like, I won't hear it. And Jason's like, yeah, we got to go. And Julian's like, no, listen here, kids. He didn't say kids, but I heard the kids in my head. You know, I just did. Rudge is on the phone. He says he's handled it, and Julian won't be able to ignore his message. And Olivia gets news from Ned. Something's happened to Leo. And I was like, no, not this episode. Don't do this to me. The Maxie wedding. I'm giving the point on that one, which brings us to rock music being at 2. All right, so, and if you want to make any, you know the drill. The suggestions are in the description. You know the drill to the guess the date game by now. And if you don't, I'll tell you tomorrow or later. But thank you so much for watching yesterday's recap. Thanks for dealing with my just not knowing what's going on. And I will see you tomorrow morning for Tuesday's Drama Hospital. And then later on Wednesday for Wednesday's Drama Hospital, because apparently I gotta catch up, even though I didn't realize I was gonna have to. But okay, I'll stop rambling, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.